Hey everybody, I am kicking off just a little mini series here of videos talking about some favorite products, and in this video it's going to focus on high-end products that I kind of think are overrated and that I believe have a low-cost alternative that's really like a dupe for that product, or maybe even better than the high-cost product. So I feel really excited when I uncover something like that because I'm like, I can't wait to tell people. My other video is going to be high-end products that I really feel are worth the money. So I'm just focusing on makeup, not really skincare or anything else. So I hope you enjoy these videos and you find them informative. Stay tuned, I've got a lot of products to talk about. I'm going to start off talking about primer. Smashbox Photo Finish is super popular. This is the original. There's also a light formula, and I feel like I found a product that's really like kind of a combination of the two. You know, the really silky feel of the original and yet the lightness of the Photo Finish Light, and that is Hard Candy Sheer Envy Primer. I know I've talked about this before, and I really recommend shaking this up before you use it, because sometimes depending on how you store it, the more liquidy portion of this product can settle a bit, but it looks, you know, kind of white like that, but it definitely goes on totally clear. You know, I've got tons of swatches on my hands right now, but it really just, you know, goes away to nothingness, but just gives you a really silky feel on the skin. Primers are such a hot topic, I feel like, and I know lots of people love Urban Decay Primer Potion and Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and I also think they're great, but there is something that if you're trying to save money and still get a great eye primer, you've got to look to a brand called Palladio. It's available at Sally Beauty Supply. I've also seen it at Ulta, and they have their Herbal Eyeshadow Primer, which performs very much the same as those other two. It has a similar look, similar feel, and similar, you know, actually action of what it does to help your eyeshadow last and not get creasy and all that kind of thing. So I would definitely suggest checking this out for just a fraction of the cost of the high-end versions. Blushes. I know that MAC has some gorgeous blushes, and they actually have some mineralized blushes that are really awesome as well. In fact, this one is called Giggly, and it has a little heart in it, and it's really pretty. They're not totally just a solid color. They give you that glow on top of it. And Milani has come out with quite a few blushes that do the very same thing, and they are their baked blushes, and they look like this, and they've kind of got, you know, sort of that swirled look to them. This one happens to be called Dolce Pink. There are several shades that I love. Coralina is a great corally shade. There's also Rose d'Oro and even more deeper pigmented shades for darker skin tones, but it gives off a really similar look. If you're looking for a blush that's going to give you some color and some pigmentation, but also a little bit of glow and shimmer, check out the Milani Baked Blushes. Another face product, the Makeup Forever Professional HD powder. So this would be, you know, it looks like a white powder, but it really doesn't show up with any sort of color on your skin, but you can just brush this on as like a finishing step to your makeup to get kind of a flawless overall appearance to your skin. I even prefer e.l.f. high definition powder, and it's so much cheaper, and basically, you know, I use it the very same way. I feel like it works just as well. It blends over the skin flawlessly. Don't waste your money on Makeup Forever. Recently tried out an art liner from Lancome, and the shade is Sparkling Noir, so kind of like a black shimmery shade, and I found this to be so watery, very watered down, and not a shade that I've reached for very often in my collection at all. However, Revlon Colorstay has a shade called Black Shimmer, and it is very deep and rich, and I find that Revlon Colorstay's liquid liners, from the blackest black through to some of the other shades, are really great. Right here is the Lancome shade, which it almost just looks like a gray, and that's the Revlon. The Revlon does have just that little bit of sparkly shimmer like the name implies, but I mean, it just shows up so much better and seems much less watery than the Lancome. Also for cream eyeliners, I know lots of people love MAC Fluid Line. I have one of those as well that I got as part of like a sort of a set around Christmas time, and it works great. I like it. Very smooth, goes on very nicely, but I found something that tops it with staying power, and it's the Wet n Wild Cream Eyeliner. Now, you're not going to have as much variety when it comes to shades. I just have this one in black, but if you're looking for a great black, long-wearing cream liner that really is not going to budge, you can feel confident putting this on your lower lash line as well, go for the Wet n Wild. It's amazing how well it works, and I like to use a small brush. Any brush that you have, I don't have it handy right now, but a brush with a pointed tip I find works really well with the Wet n Wild. I don't so much like to use an angled brush with that. I know I've spoken about Lancome Hypnose and how much I enjoy this mascara, and I do think it's really good. It's got a nice brush. When you apply it like really slowly and kind of carefully to the lashes, you can get really nice big lashes. But there is a drugstore product that is pretty darn close when it comes to the performance of that mascara, and it's the Voluminous Carbon Black. And Voluminous Carbon Black is among some of my favorite mascaras as well, and it's just very similar to Lancome. I feel like the formula is kind of the same. It's got a brush that's not too terribly different, but ultimately when it gets on your lashes, they're a lot alike. I think lip liners are something you can find cheap, and you do not need to go high end with this because the color selection is out there. Just depends on the brand you're looking at. And so, you know, a lot of people might like MAC. I have one pencil here. The shade is called Whirl. There's nothing exceptional about the way it goes on, I feel. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a lip pencil, you know. But NYX, I find that they go on even a little bit smoother. They still have good staying power, and there is a large color selection. So I'm not really claiming that these two shades are dupes of one another, but I was just kind of feeling as I talked, you know, how the texture is so similar, and NYX even goes on a little bit better. The Stila lip glazes that come out in these little tubes where you click and it comes up through the brush are pretty popular with some people. I happen to think they're a little bit on the sticky side, and I have kind of a tolerance for sticky lip glosses, but yeah, it's kind of sticky and really pricey. And I think that if you check out e.l.f., this is like the ultimate contrast here, but e.l.f. is only $1 for the Hyper Shine lip glosses. They still have a lot of shades, and one that I love actually is called Fairy, and it's kind of like an iridescent pink. Looks great on top of like all different lip looks, but it's got the same brush tip applicator, so if you enjoy that, you can have that, and you could try a bunch of different shades for what it would cost to get one from Stila. So that wraps up my video talking about all of the high-end products that I think a lot of people rave about, but really, do you really have to spend all your money on those things? Because if you boil it down, you can get a lot of these drugstore products for the price of just one of those high-end items. And stay tuned for part 2. Again, that's going to be the high-end products that I think are worth your money. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.